Hello and welcome to In This Week's Oban Times with me, Kathie Griffith.
Me, Fiona Scott.
Me, Ellis Butcher.
And we've got Stevie lurking there in the background as usual.
Still lurking. Still lurking.
You're still there. Do you know what? It's just lovely to know you're there. Even if you don't say much, Stevie, you're such a comfort.
Oh, thank you, Kathie. Now just get on with
That's
it.
all right. Well, I've got to be nice because I freaked myself out this morning because when I got out of bed and looked in the mirror, not that I don't usually freak myself out when I look in the mirror, looked in the mirror and there were these like red horns coming out the top of my head. It was my hair and I hadn't been sort of doing it on purpose, but they were just there. So I looked a little bit devilish, so I've got to be nice today. So there we go. Anyway, on with it, on with business. Anyone remember all the colours of the rainbow?
Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. Is that right?
That's all right. That's okay. I think. But this
Thank you.
rainbows. There is a reason. There is a reason for this. The folks on Kerala are very busy putting together a giant rainbow. Now they're hoping, they've had hundreds of slates donated to them by a local company called New Reflections, and each family on Kerala have taken it on themselves to choose a colour of the rainbow, and then individually they're going to go and lay out these slates in the shape of a wonderful rainbow that will be visible from the mainland in time, we hope, for tomorrow night's Clap for Carers. So it's their way. It's a symbol really of sharing hope and solidarity with people, saying, you know, better times are to come. So I think that's really lovely.
Wow, that sounds great. Ellis,
Good,
could you record that for us people that don't know?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be out there with my video camera.
Will you be there doing it?
I'll be there.
I've got a very noisy wind chime. I've got a noisy wind chime. So I've been rattling that on a Thursday night. It sounds quite nice, though. Sounds quite nice. Also, The Simpsons, not the TV show, because the lady I spoke to hasn't got blue hair. This is Susan Simpson I'm talking about. She lives in Appin with her family, with her husband, Andrew, and their two gorgeous daughters, Alice and Neve. Now, they'd been looking forward to watching the London Marathon on Sunday, but of course that was all cancelled because of coronavirus. And there's a national campaign called the 2.6 Challenge, asking people to help save all the UK charities who are going to be affected by all the big cancellations of events. So this family have taken it on themselves to camp out in the back garden for 26 nights. And I think with two teenagers and two cats, I think that's quite ambitious. But there you go. So they're going to be doing this, and they've got a Just Giving page. 10 months ago, The Simpsons set up this wonderful charity, and it's to help people who've lost a child up to the age of 25. Now, the Simpsons themselves, they lost two baby girls, so they've experienced the terrible tragedy of this and having to sort of cope with it, and basically they've wanted to help others, you know, as the years have gone on. But they've set up this charity, and the idea is there's going to be a network of caravans all around the country in beautiful, gentle places where families will be able to go and have a little bit of respite. Now, they're hoping that the first caravan will be at Tralee Bay, hopefully next year. Now, in the 10 months since they started this charity, they've actually raised £20,000, which is fabulous. So the idea is they're going to be camping out in the back garden, and they're really hoping that people will go onto their Just Giving page and donate a little something to help them get to this stage of opening the first caravan, because obviously the marathon's not happening. They were going to do a big hike up Ben Nevis at night this year and various other events to raise money for that, but COVID has put paid to that. So we've got a lovely story online, and will be in this week's OT if people want to read about them and give them some support. At the hospital, we're still talking to folks there, which is great because it's really keeping the communication channels open. And people really want to know what's going on in the hospital, and that's what we're doing with the help of people there. We've been talking to the pharmacists this week. They've been keeping all the cancer treatments going. They've been keeping all the critical medicine stock supplies up to date. So everyone's been looked after there. They used to just work 5 days a week, but they're actually working 7 days a week now, so they can support their colleagues who might need to ask questions about particular drugs or any kind of support. So they're, you know, really pulling all the stops out as well. So lots going on as ever in Oban, and Oban's battle to sort of beat coronavirus and get life back to normal. So that's what I've been up to. Fiona?
Yeah, I've had some really lovely stories this week. One of them, the residents of Eve Care Home in Benderloch have been sharing their thoughts about things they're most grateful for on social media. Now, this was the idea of their manager, Georgina Taylor, and the rest of the team who were concerned that some of the residents couldn't connect with their families, and the other way around as well. Families can't connect with their loved ones that are in the care homes. So they got them to all write down things that they were most grateful for in life, and they came up with some really original, lovely things to write, and made this video. So you can read about that in the paper and see all the pictures, but you can also go online and watch the video. So that's lovely. Also, the council, poor council, get a lot of stick about things, but throughout the coronavirus, they've been, as well as doing the jobs that they're all paid to do, they've also been working hard with community groups, organisations and volunteers to make sure people who are shielding have no existing support receive food parcels. So they've got a massive team of volunteers now, all helping out with that. And it's also a partnership with the Health and Social Care Partnership and Third Sector Interface. They're all helping out there, so that was great. On the sports side of things, we're not getting a lot of sport just now, but Oban High School's principal teacher of PE, Murray Hamilton's keeping himself busy by collecting old school team photographs. And he's asking other people to send him theirs, with the idea of installing a kind of sporting hall of fame on the high school to feature when the school's open again. So that was a kind of lovely idea. I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad I went to school down in the Borders, because I went and hunted out some of my old sports photos, and they're absolutely awful. Can you guys remember getting team photographs taken at school?
Fiona, do you remember, you were quite sporty, so I don't think you ever had the experience of when you had to line up and people were going to pick who they wanted on the teams. Well, you know, the person who was always just left behind, the last one.
Oh, Kathie.
That was me. And I was scared of being hit by, I also remember early days at primary school, terrified of being hit by a flying football.
Oh, bless you.
No, I don't have any team photos.
And now you swim with the sharks. Now look how far you've came. Well, dolphins and seals, but sharks sounds better.
You arm wrestle with the basking sharks, don't you, Kathie?
I do. Got the scars to show it.
There you go. Ellis, were you involved in any school sports?
I used to play football. I was a goalkeeper, and I really enjoyed football. I was quite into athletics. I was quite small for my age, but I was pretty powerful as well. And,
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing then.
Ellis packs a punch.
When I was about 15, I think, I was doing the high jump on the school sports day. And typically the photographer got the moment that I knocked the bar over. And it was across about a 6-column photograph, so it's quite a big photograph on the back page. So I never really lived that one down.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we should have a Sporting Hall of Disasters as well as a Sporting Hall of Fame. Us guys could all contribute to that.
Plenty of them.
Ellis, what have you been up to this week?
I've got a couple of good stories in this week. The first one really, it's quite sad. You'll hear every week in the Oban Times about all of these fantastic gestures that people are making in the community to help each other and come together. And we've really made a focus on making sure that the coronavirus isn't just entirely a negative story, but actually goes to show the good that people are doing. However, sadly, over at Ben Laura, there's been quite a lot of damage done to a bench by a barbecue that was held there. It's obviously been held after the lockdown restrictions were announced, and a lot of rubbish has been left there, beer cans, burger wrappers, and it's very clear that obviously a group of people have gone up there in the good weather and decided to have a barbecue. And then they've damaged this bench and left behind a lot of litter, drink cans and such like. So this has kind of quite disturbed local people who have, they respect that the weather has been great, but they really want people to stay at home and respect the restrictions, because it's not just the threat of the coronavirus, but you also potentially put the NHS under pressure if you pass it on to people. So I've had a look into that issue. And on a more lighter note, I've also been speaking to Andy Spence of the Bid for Oban group. Now, I don't know if you know, but this is the group that represents about 550 businesses across the Oban area. And they've been working ever since the coronavirus struck to get advice and guidance and help to businesses. But what they've been telling me this week is that the focus in the next coming weeks, as we move into May, there will be a significant gear shift really in what they're doing. And what they want to do is make sure that Oban is absolutely prepared to reopen should the government at some point decide to lift the restrictions. Judging by what Nicola Sturgeon has been telling the country, it doesn't look like the restrictions are going to be lifted all at once. It's going to be staggered. It's going to take time. But Oban is certainly starting to prepare now for the possibility that some places might be able to reopen in some form or another. So there's a piece in the Oban Times this week that sets out exactly what the plan is.
That's really hopeful, isn't it? Just hearing, all these changes that are starting to make it just feels as though we're slightly starting to come out, the other side of this. And
yeah,
that's great news. And we've got to be prepared, because you think back to this time last year when, Oban was sort of, bustling with people, and it has such a sort of, great atmosphere. And I'm absolutely longing to see it back like it was. It was just great. So, let's think of brighter days to come.
I think people have to keep their eye on the future, and that things will change and things will start to get back to normal. I don't think we're out of the woods, and I think it may take longer than we all expect. But at least there is a concerted effort within the town to say, look, if there's any budge in these restrictions, we'll be ready to go, and we'll start to sort of see a little bit of normality returning to the high street, which we'd all welcome.
It's important to remember as well that the more we stick to the guidelines and stay at home and do what we're told, and no go climbing up Ben Laura and having parties, then the quicker that it will come to an end and we will all get out again. But, if everybody at the moment just sticks to what we're being told to do, then that time will come quicker.
Yeah, we're in this together, aren't we?
Definitely.
So we're always busy looking for stories, and it's always great to hear from you. So please do get in touch with us. You can call us on 01631 568 000. Email us at editor@obantimes.co.uk or message us on Facebook. All our stories are free to read online at the moment. You can also pick up your copies of the OT from supermarkets, newsagents and petrol stations, and you can get the digital page-turning version of the OT for just £4.80 for 3 months at the moment. So lots of different ways of keeping in touch, keeping connected. And of course, folks, keep safe.
Bye.
Bye.